best piece of advice I could say is document and don't create. The problem is people think about content creation as a new job. I'm already too busy. I don't have time to make a video, to edit a video, and you don't need to do that. You just need to document what you're already doing. The truth vibrates the fastest, meaning who you are and what you do is the only thing that matters. That's why you're in business, because you are good at speaking your truth to your employees, to your customers, to whoever they may be.
What you don't know is costing you commas and zeros. Welcome to the Owner's Profit Playbook. I'm Pat Mancuso. Most entrepreneurs think their biggest challenge is growing revenue, but the real problem is the profit leaks hiding inside their business. On this show, we break down the strategies, structures, and financial blind spots that separate struggling operators from truly profitable businesses. Because building a business is one thing, but building a business that creates wealth, that's the real playbook.
Welcome to the Owner's Profit Playbook. My name is Pat Mancuso, and I'm excited that you're here today. Most business owners think they have a marketing problem, but what they really have is a visibility problem. And what you don't know is our mantra is costing you commas and zeros, because if no one knows your story, they can't buy into your business. Today's guest is going to show you why the show might be the highest ROI move you make this year. So we are excited to welcome our guest, Shawn Walchef, which is interesting because I'm going to give you background why that struck me when I first got the invite to have Shawn on the show. Let me tell you a little bit about Shawn. He is a husband, a father, a restaurateur, turned media founder, and someone who's helping reshape business owners think about attention in storytelling. And boy, is that a challenge in today's world. After building a strong career in hospitality, Shawn made a powerful pivot into media, working with brands like Toast, Google, Uber, Pepsi, Amazon, to name a few. He's also the host of a Restaurant Influencers podcast on Entrepreneur. And if you're not on Entrepreneur, you need to get to Entrepreneur because there's a great content there. He's interviewed the likes of Shaquille O'Neal, Emeril Lagasse, John Taffer, and Robert Irvine. And if you don't know, those folks are high-profile individuals in the restaurant industry. And we got connected with Shawn through Jeremy Wells. So shout out to Jeremy for making this happen. Shawn's mission is simple but powerful. Help just one business owner start telling their story online. And today we're going to make that a reality. So Shawn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Pat. I hope that one person that's watching or listening will have the courage to do what we did, which is share your story. No one's coming. If you're watching, if you're listening, if you're a business owner, Field of Dreams is a great baseball movie, but it's also a very false promise that business owners buy into. And that's James Earl Jones, if you build it, they will come. And especially for brick and mortar businesses, but it also applies to digital businesses. If you build it, they will. No one's coming. And the quicker that we admit that no one's coming and that we have all of the power in our control, the quicker that change can happen. And that change can be very powerful, but it doesn't happen overnight.
So I love that, powerful, impactful. And so let me ask you a question. When you say no one's coming, I think I know what that means, but tell me what you mean by that.
So we'll bring it to restaurants. So I own restaurants here in San Diego. We've been in business for 18 years. We're actually coming up 2 weeks. We'll be celebrating 18 years in business. 3 locations, a stadium location at Snapdragon Stadium, a Navy-based QSR location at the San Diego Navy Exchange, and then our main master smokehouse and full-service restaurant sports bar. I thought as a business owner in 2008, during the Great Recession, when I opened up, that if we made great barbecue, if we served phenomenal hospitality, we took care of people, we took care of families, if we gave back to the community, that they would come. They meaning local media, the newspapers, the magazines, San Diego Magazine, CBS News, Fox 5, KUSI News, all local news stations would come and share our business story with the community, which would help grow our business. I was naive enough to think that would happen. 5 years of grinding, blood, sweat, tears, trying to make payroll, trying to run inventory, trying to figure out how to run the restaurant business. I thought we've been open for 5 years. This is a big celebration. Maybe I
Right.
can do a press release and let the local press know how cool it is that we're doing something in an underserved part of San Diego, because we're not in Gaslamp, we're not in La Jolla, we're not in high trafficked areas. We picked a bad location. And because of that, I thought this is a great story. Maybe the press will care. No one cares. And that is the honest truth that is hard for most brands and business owners to understand, is that no one cares about your business as much as you do. And also no one knows as much about your business as you do. No one wants to look stupid, sound stupid on the internet. But that is the truth. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to start a YouTube channel, you have to understand that in the beginning, and the beginning lasts a very long time, you will look stupid, you will sound stupid, your friends will make fun of you, your family will make fun of you. And when you get over that, you realize that all we're doing is talking about things that we already do as business owners and entrepreneurs. Every single day, we talk about what we're building. And we
Right.
inspire people around us, whether they're employees, whether they're vendors, whether they're investors, whether they're partners. We inspire people to want to work with us. We do this in real life every day. Business
Right.
owners are the original creators. We talk about a creator economy, people that are really good at making Instagram videos or YouTube videos or great podcasters, the Joe Rogans of the world and the Mr. Beast. Everyone understands that. But the original creators are business owners and entrepreneurs. We had to convince someone in real life of our crazy idea. We had to convince our wife, our significant other, our friends, our family to give us money to open up whatever business we try to pursue. That is the story that needs to go on the internet. That is the story that will bring you customers, that will help grow your business. But back to the other answer is that you have to be willing to look stupid and sound stupid. And I, unfortunately or fortunately, built a business around looking stupid and sounding stupid. And now we get to do work with some of the biggest brands in restaurant technology. I mean, we have a B2B storytelling business. As you mentioned, we work with Amazon, we work with Google, we work with
Right.
Uber, we work with Pepsi. Toast is one of our biggest clients, 150,000 restaurants all across the world now. I'm going to New York Times Square. They're going to be doing a brand announcement. Toast is going to be all over the boards. I was at the IPO. The amount of things that we've been able to do just because we had the courage to look stupid and sound stupid. My goal is that somebody watching, listening, they know that they need to change. They know that the old way of doing business doesn't work anymore.
So first, let's kind of plant something in the ground, because somebody might be hearing this as a business owner and they might be thinking, well, Shawn, that's restaurant. My business is so different.
Yeah.
I know what the response is that, but from your perspective, how would you respond to that business owner?
I would respond to that business owner that the amount of brand people are connected to story.
Yeah.
So in life, we learn through lessons and stories. That is how, I'll ask you a question. What's the greatest form of marketing?
Well, I could have a couple of them. Word of mouth is probably the best.
And how does word of mouth happen in 2026?
I'm not sure any different than it used to, although most people would jump to online social media viral, right? I mean, that's
Word of mouth is now amplified because of technology.
right.
So we are talking right now on this podcast. We're recording. It's going to go on Spotify. It's going to go on Apple Podcasts. It's going to go on YouTube. While we are recording, I have other videos on LinkedIn, on Instagram, other podcasts that someone is listening to Shawn's message, my barbecue message, my media message, how I think about content creation, where I'm going to be for restaurant conferences and tech conferences. I have grown my sales force because I understand how to capture the content. Shakespeare said it best, the whole world is your stage. The world has always been your stage, but Shakespeare didn't even know the technology that would be available to us now. We don't have to pay YouTube. We don't have to pay LinkedIn. We have the opportunity to create a video on our smartphone right now and talk about the things that we're building. We don't need thousands of views. If you are an attorney, if you are in insurance, I don't care what, we have clients that we work with that sell automated tax. So they do tax automation. A company called Davo. So a restaurant owner will go to Davo, they'll pay them $55 a month, and they will automate the sales tax, meaning the sales tax that happens in their restaurant gets automated and gets filed for them. I make videos about that. You know how hard it is to make videos about sales tax? It's very hard, but guess what? Everyone's got a sales tax problem. If you sell something, you got to figure out how to sell, how to automate your sales tax.
Yeah. So let's go back to, so I want to come back and just kind of lay some framework. So you still own restaurants, so you still live in this world every day.
Yep.
You are basically taking in theory, what I hear you saying is you're taking what happens every day in a restaurant, your experience as an owner, an entrepreneur, you're sharing that, and then applying it, encouraging people to do the same thing in their business. I mean, am I oversimplifying it, or is that really what you're?
I'll make it even I'll even make it more simple. We believe that the best thing a business owner can do is to be the show and not the commercial.
Okay, explain.
The problem that business owners have is that when we think about marketing, we think about advertising and selling our product. Bottom funnel marketing. I want to make a video and I want someone to come and buy barbecue. So I'm going to make a video about brisket and I'm going to say, come buy brisket because brisket is $5 off on Friday, whatever the promotion is.
Right.
Humans, all humans, and I know this specifically because I have young humans. I have an 8-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl. And I remember my son, when he was very young, I mean, he couldn't have been 2 years old. I remember him watching YouTube Kids. And while he was watching a cartoon on YouTube Kids, do you know what the first digital button that he learned how to press was?
Play.
No, it wasn't play.
What was it?
Skip.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. See, there you go.
Skip.
Yeah,
My
skip.
son's 2 years old and he hit skip. Why? Because we don't want our stories interrupted. Why is DVR so popular? Because we don't have to watch the commercials. Why do
Right.
people pay for premium? So that they can skip the commercials. Be the show, not the commercial. And your business is a show.
Yeah.
The problem is people want to have businesses that are huge shows, and you don't need a business with huge. You need 1,000 true fans. Anyone that's listening to this, if you have clients, if you're in the service business, let's say you have 20 clients. What would another 20 clients do? It would transform your business.
Right.
What would another 60 clients do? We're talking about one post on LinkedIn where 200 people saw the post. What if that leads to 2 new clients? And you do that every single day. All of a sudden, you've gone from having 27 clients to having 127 clients. And you have to hire people. And now you've solved the problem that most people in your field are wondering. The problem with social media is it's so easy, but it's also so hard.
And so what do you mean by that?
It's never been easier to share your message.
Yeah.
It's never been easier to take your phone, stop listening to this podcast, take your phone out of your pocket, use the camera app and record a video saying, hi, my name is Shawn. I own restaurants in San Diego. I believe in digital hospitality. What is digital hospitality? Digital hospitality is that I believe every business needs to build digitally first. And I also believe that every business is in the hospitality business. I would love for you to come and see my restaurant. We cook everything from scratch. We have ribs, we have this, and put it onto the internet.
So what do you think? So I 100% in behind what you're saying. What do you think people struggle with the most in doing that? And I want to tie this into going back a little bit. So 5 years into a restaurant, by the way, like what, 80, 90% or 95% of restaurants fail in the first year, or, you know, and I've got some history there. What was the defining moment that caused you to actually A, make that connection to do that video, and then B, how did you transition to what you're doing today?
The easiest thing is that we were going to go out of business. I mean, it's like if anyone that's listening to this podcast, if you go to Google and you put 8910 Troy Street, which is where my Cali BBQ original location is, you can go on Google Earth and see we have tire shops, we have recycling centers, we have pot shops, we have liquor stores, we have churches. We are in the middle of nowhere in San Diego County. Yet, because of storytelling, I have billionaire tech founders that will fly from the other side of the earth and land at San Diego Airport and drive 30 minutes in an Uber to come to my restaurant because we have the courage, like I said, to look stupid, sound stupid, but do it over and over and over again to the point where now we have conviction in what we do. We are really good at what we do. I have a great team that is really good at talking about technology in restaurants and AI tools that are happening in restaurants and inventory tools and sales tools and third-party delivery and drones. We talk about all those things because it's easy for me because it's in my restaurant. Like I'm
Yeah.
just sharing stuff that I already, either I believe in it or I don't. And it's very easy. It's like, well, how do you pick which partners? Like everything is my reputation. So if I tell somebody, hey, use this financial accounting software, Restaurant 365 is a great platform for your multi-unit restaurant group. Well, if Restaurant 365 does a bad job, they're going to stop listening to my podcasts. They're going to
Absolutely.
go, well, Shawn's just a shill. He's just going to take money. I have to vet the technology. I have to vet the owner. I've got to vet the leader, the CTO. I've got to talk to all of these people to make sure that the things that we're talking about actually do help restaurants.
Well, and what I think is interesting, Shawn, is that so I have some experience in restaurant, and it wasn't a success. And there was a lot of things behind that for another day. However, what it strikes me that the restaurant industry is one of the toughest industries
For sure.
around.
For sure.
And you could look at labor costs, you can look at food costs, you can look at, there's so many things, right? Taxes, local taxes. I mean, it's crazy. You're in California, so we don't even need to open that can of worms. However, what strikes me, and it just really created an aha for me, is that there isn't a business that can't replicate what you just talked about doing and then apply it to their customers or affiliate partners or people who can bring business to them. So let's kind of make it a little bit of a transition here. So um, let's talk about, I'm the business owner, and maybe we get outside a restaurant, but it all applies. But I'm the business owner, and I go, okay, I'm hearing Shawn talk, and I'm getting it. Like I'm almost out of business. I'm getting it. Where do I start other than picking up the camera and shooting the video? Because there's going to be people who are listening to this going, that's not me. That might be Shawn, but that's not me. I need more. And yet, if you focus them on, they're not going to make it in a month if they don't do something. So where do you coach our listeners on, where do they start beyond picking up that camera? Like what would be 2 or 3 things you tell them to do, learn, go buy, et cetera, whatever your response to that would be?
So the best piece of advice I could say is document and don't create. The problem is people think about content creation as a new job. I'm already too busy. I don't have time to make a video, to edit a video, and you don't need to do that. You just need to document what you're already doing. The truth vibrates the fastest, meaning who you are and what you do is the only thing that matters. That's why you're in business, because you are good at speaking your truth to your employees, to your customers, to whoever they may be. You need to be able to capture that truth. Arthur Ashe has one of my favorite quotes, which is start where you are, do what you can with what you have. You have everything that you need in your pocket. You literally do not need to spend $1 on a camera, on a light, on a platform. You have everything you need, and all of these tools are free. How long they're going to be free, the algorithms change, it's interest media versus social media, all of that stuff. There's enough AI tools that you can ask for all the different tips and tactics. What matters the most is that you actually get involved. So my grandfather, he raised me. I never met my father. I have a Bulgarian grandfather. He was born in a village. He was so obsessed with reading. He became a medical doctor, lived this amazing life, and gave me this gift. And this is something I share on stages when I go and speak. It's something I share on podcasts, but it's stay curious, get involved, ask for help. Curious people will read books. Curious people will listen to podcasts like this. Curious people will go to conferences. Curious people will find other people to learn from. But you can't just be curious. I remember when I was growing up, my grandfather, like I said, raised me. So I would always come back home. He'd want to know my report cards. He'd always say, Shawn, where are you sitting in the class? I'm like, Grandpa, what a weird question to ask me. What do you mean, where do I sit? He goes, where do you sit in the class? I say, well, I sit in the back with my friends who are on the football team and the basketball team. He goes, why do you sit in the back? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel comfortable back there. He's like, you should sit in the front. I'm like, yeah, whatever, Grandpa. College, same questions. Why aren't you sitting in the front? Why aren't you raising your hand? I remember traveling through Europe with my grandfather as we were writing his life story. We would go on these trips. He would go and look, and he would be the first person on the bus. He'd be the person next to the tour guide asking the questions. You have
Yeah.
to do something with your curiosity. You actually have to do something. When I say, okay, it's time to do a video for your business, I will tell you something that is completely uncomfortable, and that's whoever's listening to this, whoever's watching this. You need to make 100 videos in 100 days. 100 videos in 100 days and post it on whatever platform you're comfortable with. I honestly don't care. It can be LinkedIn, it can be Facebook, whatever makes you uncomfortable, but I don't want you to edit the video. I just want you to go, okay, Shawn, I got it. I'm going to do 100 videos in 100 days. And once you do that, and once you start to do, you will be shocked. Like I said, people are going to make fun of you. Your friends are going to go, what are you doing? Who do you think you are? Are you an influencer? Like, how weird is this? But then over time, after 10 videos, after 20 videos, after 30 videos, you're going to start to understand, what do I want to talk about? I have a bunch of knowledge.
Right.
Just document what you do every day and why you're good at what you do. That's it. Don't create a commercial. Do not create a commercial. Be the show, not the commercial. Show up every day, speak your truth, talk about the things that matter. And I guarantee you, I am living proof. Amazon sends me money. I am a client of Amazon. Toast sends me money. I have done deals with some of the biggest restaurant technology that are now our clients.
Right.
Why? Because I had the courage to look stupid, sound stupid, and start to share my truth. And now my team is much better at capturing content. The internet, people go, which platform, none of that matters. What matters is that the internet is broken down to audio, video, words, images, long form content, short form content. And the easiest answer is video. Video gives you everything you need. All the platforms want video. Video is your truth. The problem, back to your question about
Right. Yeah.
people's problem. What's the number one fear? What's the number one human fear?
Of looking bad or being wrong.
It's speaking in public.
Well, see, that doesn't come natural to me because that ship sailed a long time ago.
But humans,
Yeah.
even business owners, would rather be in the casket than give the eulogy. Like
Yeah.
literally, they'd rather be dead. It's the
Yeah, they
same
talk with people every day.
It's the same thing with talking to the internet. It's the same thing with seeing a video. You think I like my video? I stutter in my videos. I look dumb in my videos. I'm overweight. I'm not where I want to be. There's so many insecurities that I have, but I didn't have a choice. I
Right.
literally was going to go out of business. So
Yeah.
it's like either go out of business. When I started posting on Facebook back in 2008 and 2009, when no one was coming into my restaurant, my friends would be like, Shawn, dude, that's a lot of posting. Like, you're posting a lot about your restaurant. And I'm like, well, have you come to visit? Because if you don't come to visit and you don't buy anything, I will go out of business. So you say you're happy for me in my business, yet
Yeah.
here you are worried about what I'm posting on Facebook. This is the thing that I care about. That is why I'm posting about it.
Yeah. So I want to come back to two things you said. First, explain Amazon's paying you. Are they paying you for content creation, or are they paying you that they're paying you for content creation?
Amazon has multiple companies. They have a company called
Right.
Eero. They have a company called Ring. As those companies come into the restaurant space, they are restaurant technology companies. So they want to get in front of other restaurant owners.
Okay.
My entire company is built on educating restaurant owners on YouTube, on podcasts, on Instagram, on TikTok, on all of the platforms of all of the tools and technology that will help them run better restaurants. So all of those companies that show up at the National Restaurant Show in Chicago when there's 2,000 vendors spending tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get in front of restaurant owners, I will tell you the truth. The truth is, most restaurant owners can't leave their restaurant to go to Chicago to go to a trade show.
Right.
But where are they? They're all on YouTube. They all listen to podcasts. They're all on Instagram. They're all on Facebook. They're on all these platforms. So when I go to Chicago, I go to all these vendors and go, what are you building? Do you have something worthy to share with our audience? Because our audience didn't leave their restaurants. They're still running it, but they want to know the technology that you're bringing that can help improve their business.
Yeah. So the second piece of that, because I get the content, or I get the 100 days. So I'm the business owner, and I in my thinking, and so I want your feedback on this. I talk with business owners every day. So let's say I'm a consultant or I'm a coach.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, Shawn, what do I record? Right.
Yep.
And yet in my thinking, it's pretty simple. So today, Mr. and Mrs. Internet listener, today I had a conversation with a business owner, and that business owner was struggling with this. This was our conversation. It's just that simple, right?
It's the most, so it's even more simple than that. Humans from the beginning of time, all we care about is story.
Yeah.
Story. Tell me a story.
Yeah.
Tell me a story about something, because that is the only thing people will remember. They will not remember tips, tricks, tactics, all of that, but they will know a story. And maybe someone listening to this podcast will go, there was a barbecue guy. He owned barbecue restaurants. He started a media business. He started doing work with all the biggest restaurant technology companies and was invited to IPOs and does all this incredible, it's paid to go to restaurants all around the world and share stories with the greatest cooks and celebrities like Shaquille O'Neal. I can't believe he had that opportunity to do it, but he inspired me to start sharing my story because he said no one's coming. Because no one's coming. We hope that our product is good enough, our service is good enough, that someone's going to tell someone else. And word of mouth does happen. But now word of mouth happens online, and it happens on all these different platforms.
So let's shift gears a little bit. And from your perspective, you're consulting with these businesses, you're coaching with them, you're advising, you're also creating content, but I think you're doing both, right? I mean, you're not just doing everything for them, you're also advising them, right?
Yeah, so the business that we created, Cali BBQ Media, what we do is for free, we teach restaurant owners and business owners how to tell stories. Hard stop. How to tell stories on the internet. The best example I have of story is comedians. I love comedians. Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, you name the comedian. I love to study the craft of comedy. Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee was one of my favorite shows just because they talk about the craft of comedy.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand, entrepreneurs, especially and business owners, is that we get tired of our own stories. Comedians don't get tired of their own jokes. They make their jokes better and they repeat them over and over and over and over again. People need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. And every business owner has great stories that they want to share, that they've shared one time. And because we shared it one time, we assume that everybody remembers. Nobody knows. I assume nobody knows anything about me. I'll go to the National Restaurant Show. I assume that no one's seen my podcast, no one's seen my LinkedIn post, no one follows my Substack, that no one has any clue who I am and what I do. So I have to be good in an elevator pitch in 60 seconds to get someone's attention for them to go, oh, that's interesting. I want to work with Shawn. I need to tell my story better. My brand needs a YouTube channel. Well, why does my brand need a YouTube channel? Because every business needs a YouTube channel. Why? Because the large language models, the LLMs that AI is scraping, Gemini and ChatGPT and Claude, they're going to YouTube. Your information needs to be on YouTube, even if it only gets 2 views or 27 views. Why? Because that video will surface in somebody's answer engine optimization result.
So, there's a lot. I mean, there's so much that you're unpacking. And you said something, and it's so applicable to restaurants, right? A lot of restaurant owners are in their restaurants. A lot of business owners are in their businesses. They don't have a team, right? They don't, and some of them might be very large and some of them are small. So there's a lot of technology out there to help with some of this, right? And so you're advising somebody who's got a business, they're struggling. Okay, pick up the camera, start shooting. What do you tell them next?
I would tell them next that the most important thing is the mindset. So back to what my grandfather taught me, which is stay curious, get involved. So, do the work,
right?
Then ask for help. Surround yourself with other business owners that are humble enough to know that they don't have the answers. And as much as it sounds like I understand, I don't know shit about the internet. I know nothing. I've just been doing a lot. Like
Yeah.
I have 7 podcasts that we produce just on my behalf that I'm the host of, let
Oh,
alone the
wow.
podcasts that we produce for other brands and technology companies, let alone the other YouTube channels that we produce. Like I have a team of 15 people all over the globe in 5 different time zones that works nonstop 365 on producing short form content, long form content, audio, video, words, images on all the different platforms. And I'm telling you, I know nothing. The only reason that I'm standing here and getting interviewed by you is because I speak my truth. And my truth is that I was going to go out of business. And if you're listening to this now in 2026, what do you think is going to happen in 2027? Do you think it's going to be more applicable or less applicable?
Yeah.
At what point are you going to wake up and you're going to go, word of mouth marketing, which is the best marketing, is now on the internet? Are we on the internet? How does
Yeah.
our website look? How does our emails look? How does our outreach look? How does our customer success look? How does our brand look? How do we show up in AI results? Like literally just go to AI and ask ChatGPT, who is whatever your name is?
Right.
See what comes up. And then I'll challenge you, go and ask him who Shawn Walchef is.
Yeah.
I've been laying an infrastructure for the last 18 years of breadcrumbs on the internet of who we are, what we do, the brands that we work with, so that when somebody that is a big brand that's looking to do a 6-figure, 7-figure engagement with us,
Right.
their team can just go to ChatGPT or to Claude or to any of these tools, and they can say, well, what can Cali BBQ Media do? And it's going to just give them undeniable proof.
So I want to ask you a quick question on the 7 podcasts. So I hear that and I go, okay, I think I know why 7, but you tell me why 7?
So back to be the show, not the commercial. The greatest lesson that I can teach any podcaster, I spent 5 years. I started my show in 2017, publishing every single week, long form video, short form content. I didn't make any money for my media company. It wasn't even a media company until I added a second podcast. When I added a second podcast and I niched down, meaning I
Right.
started talking specifically about restaurants, specifically about storytelling, specifically about technology, and it wasn't broad,
Right.
that's when I got my first brand deal. I got my first brand deal. I partnered with Entrepreneur. I had been doing the work long enough that I was good enough to know that I could handle myself with any celebrity, billionaire, whoever came on the show. I could ask intelligent questions. I could hold the audience. Our team could do a great job writing the content, making short form content. I knew all of those things, but adding the second podcast is really where our brand started to take off.
Okay.
And once we added the second podcast, we realized humans have a very funny ability to limit ourselves. I think
Yes.
that's one of the things I love most about my grandfather is he taught me unlimiting beliefs, to dream big dreams.
Yep.
We have no idea what we're capable of. If you would have told me in 2017 or 2018 that I'd have 7 shows that I host, I do 2 live shows a week. Those are 2 different shows every single week. I do YouTube content. I do Instagram content. I do TikTok, like all of these different platforms. If you told me that we would be doing that many videos, I'd be like, there's no way. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, that next year, if we talked again, I will be doing 3x, if not 5x, what I'm doing now.
So there was another question that came to mind. It's funny when you're here, you're like, my brain's processing all this stuff for me as a business owner as I'm listening to you. And then how do I apply that to other businesses that we work with? So, it just came back to me. I love it. You doing podcasts, interviewing other people, you doing thought leadership, perspective on that.
It's the most important work that you'll ever do. Like podcasting, if you're a business owner and you're watching this and you haven't started a podcast, let this be the episode that inspires you to start. It has never been easier to start a podcast.
Yeah.
There are teams available. There are agencies available. There are ways to do it yourself. If you want to save money, there are ways that you could pay for it to be done. But be the show, not the commercial. Commit to 52 episodes every single week, doing an interview with someone in your space, someone that you want to work with. It could even be like if you're a sales organization, you want to work with the restaurant group. We have tech brands that hire us, we produce their show, and they will just go to multi-unit restaurant groups and get a chief technology officer on the podcast because they want to work with them. They have a conversation that's not a sales conversation, but a conversation about technology and inventory and finances and restaurants. And all of a sudden, now they have a relationship. When they go to a trade show, they've already met for an hour and had a conversation. Now that becomes like, oh yeah, let me hear what you guys are building. Now all of a sudden it becomes a sales development tool. Podcasting is a phenomenal way to make yourself uncomfortable, to do the work, to practice storytelling, to get better on camera, to get better with long form content, short form content. But like you have to make a commitment. It has to be fit. Like, there's no, oh, I'll do a season. I'll do 10 episodes. 90% of podcasters have published less than 10 episodes.
Right.
If you've published 10 episodes, you're part of the 10%.
Yeah, I love it. At the end of the day, I just hear what you're saying, and in today's world, it's never been easier to get that content out, right? I mean, it's never been easier. And there's, like you said, you put it so eloquently, everything that you need is on your phone, right? And all you need to do is push record. And then it's never been easier to push things out, right? And you talked about there's no barriers to getting it on YouTube and all those things. So let's shift gears a little bit and let's kind of close out the conversation. But I want to give people some tactical, and you've given some tactical during the show, but I really want to get down to, I'm the business owner. I go, okay, Shawn, I'm ready to go. Give me 5 tactical steps.
Sure. Number one is take out your phone and make a video right now. Make a 60-second video of who are you and what do you believe. So I'm a huge fan of Simon Sinek, and Simon Sinek shared a story on a podcast that I was listening to about his growth trajectory. And he said that he was speaking and he was going to events, and some of them were working, some of them weren't working. And what he shifted was he stopped talking about who he was and what he did, and he started talking about what he believes. Who are you and what do you believe? What do you stand for? What do you not tolerate? What do you not stand for? What do you stand against? Because that's the thing that's going to move the needle. That's the thing that's going to inspire people. Who are you and what do you stand for? Because I know who I am and I know what I stand for. And if you come to our restaurant, you'll know who we are and what we stand for because it's everywhere in our business. And I would argue that every business owner, we're really good at that. We're just shitty at saying it on the internet. We already did it.
Yeah.
And we've checked it off the list. But back to the comedian, how many times do you think the comedian has told the joke before they get their Netflix special?
Hundreds or thousands of times.
Thousands of times, the same joke over and over and over and over and over again. The best stories, how do they become legends? They become legends because they're told over and over and over and over again by different people with different perspectives. And then all of a sudden, this becomes the lore of the business.
Yeah. So we have this thing, our podcast is the Owner's Profit Playbook, and we kind of fashion it around quarters, and then we get towards the end, and then we do what's called the 2-minute drill. So the 2-minute drill is I'm going to throw some things at you and high impact responses. Sure. One platform every owner should start on.
Camera app.
Camera app. I love it. I love it. Biggest mistake in content creation.
Not starting.
Post or don't post, even if it's not perfect.
Always post.
Yeah.
Always be posting.
Yeah. Video or written content, which one's better?
Whichever one's going to make you post more.
Frequency or quality?
Always frequency. Quantity, the answer to the test is quantity plus speed plus consistency will eventually equal quality. That's the answer.
One sentence every owner should say on camera today.
My name is, I believe in.
I love that. I love that. So, Shawn, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, get in touch with you, or follow, whatever. This is your opportunity to engage our listeners in how they can benefit from what you're doing and what you've already done.
It's very easy. We created a live show. We have a community of business owners, storytellers, and people that believe in technology every single Wednesday and every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We do a live podcast. So if you're listening to this and you've never been on a podcast, or you want to start a podcast, or you want to start making videos and you want to meet other people, a community of like-minded people that are storytellers, this Rising Tides community is for you. You can go to betheshow.media/rising tides every single Wednesday, every single Friday. We put on these shows. You get to meet other community members, but this will help you in your journey. Surround yourself with people that believe in storytelling, that believe in technology, that believe in business. Amazing things can happen for your business. I mean, if you've listened this long to this podcast, you're part of the 1%. Like you're the curious people, you're the right people. You're friends of Matt, you're friends of me. If you come to San Diego, please let me know. Send me a message at Shawn P. Walchef, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, any of the platforms. You can email me, Shawn@CaliBBQ.media. But we do this all day, every day, all over the world. We believe in it. We know that it's just getting started. Pat, I'm grateful that you had me on your show, and obviously anything that you need, let me know.
Well, I appreciate that. And a shout out to Jeremy and his team, because we've leveraged the process to get great folks like you on. And we're grateful because I know you're extremely busy, and the crowd that you hang out with and the business that you do. This is a big deal for our show and our listeners as well. And in full transparency, I was for about 3 years traveling to San Diego every quarter. And now I regret that that venues have changed, but I might have to still figure out how to fly out there just to go to the restaurant.
Well,
oh my!
Anybody that's watching or listening, let me know if you come to San Diego. Send me a message a day before you're coming to the restaurant. I will meet you there. We'll do a video together. We believe in storytelling. I'll take you behind the scenes.
Love it.
Yeah, please.
Love it. Well, I'm going to put a ribbon on this, Shawn. So again, thank you so much for being here today. And so listeners, you know that our objective is to help owners close those profit leaks. And most business owners think they have a marketing problem, but what they really have is a visibility problem. And what you don't know is costing you commas and zeros. And because if no one knows your story, they can't buy into your business. And today's guest, Shawn, really delivered that. He's built that career in that business, and now he's helping others understand it and make that critical shift. And in today's economy, there is nothing more important than that, because as AI grows and as that information now is all out there, that's unfortunately, that is going to be where people are going to get their information from, is where you show up online and what you do. So, Shawn, thanks so much today for being here. We truly appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, Pat. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks, everybody. And if you would be kind enough to subscribe to our podcast, share it. This was an amazing episode, and I know that folks around you and you will benefit from it. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.
If you're serious about building a more profitable business, make sure you subscribe to the Owner's Profit Playbook so you never miss an episode. And if you know another business owner who could benefit from this conversation, share it with them. To learn more about how we help business owners uncover hidden opportunities and strengthen their financial strategy, visit MancusoCG.com. And remember, what you don't know is costing you commas and zeros.